Sveiki! This is Informal Lithuanian video series from videomokykla, and now we have our 20th lesson, short and complex numbers. In the last lesson we looked at some numbers that are shortened in Lithuanian. For example, 20, 30, 40 and so on. They are shortened in colloquial Lithuanian. If you watched that lesson, you know. So now we look at those numbers once again, but now we'll see them in context. We'll see a bit more complex numbers, not 20, not 30, but 22 or €1.47, and we'll see how those numbers sound in normal Lithuanian and in colloquial Lithuanian, in informal Lithuanian. So now let's revise what we've learned in the previous lesson. Shortened numbers, mostly they are those decimal numbers, 20, 30, 40, up to 90, of course. So, but there's still one number that can be shortened, So this is the number 1, which is viens, but it can be shortened to viens. So when you're counting fast, you can say viens, du, trys, not vienas, du, trys, but viens, du, trys. So, or just viens. So basically, this this appears mostly in counting. When you count from 1 fast, viens, du, trys, keturi, penki, šeši. But in some parts of Lithuania, viens can also be said. It can also be heard because in the Samagišian dialect, Žemaičių tarmė, the endings of nouns are similar to the endings in Latvian language, which are not us but only sis. So basically, instead of vienas, they say viens. But this little shortening viens is pretty often, but only when you count things. When you say a price, for example, 21, we say 21, we do not shorten it. So this only appears in counting when you count from 1 to 10 or something like that. So keep that in mind. Now, what we've learned in the previous lesson are these decimal numbers. I'll just read them, and then I'll read the shortened ones. So let's go to it fast. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Now the shortened version. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Šem can also be 60. So these are the sayings. Keep in mind that also in informal Lithuanian, well, in spoken Lithuanian, people can say 50. They do not say t, because it's a bit, sometimes the t gets chopped off, since the sounds are not so convenient to pronounce when two consonants are there. So these are the decimals. Now, I'll say the shortened numbers in informal Lithuanian, and then you'll try to guess which numbers, which real numbers they are. So those decimal numbers, 20, 30, and so on, are shortened. So when we say, for example, 24, we can say the full saying 24, but we can also shorten the decimal number and say 24. So instead of using the full decimal number, we use the shortened one, which you just learned in the previous lesson, and in this lesson we revised it. So I'll read those numbers 2 times each. We'll go through it all, and then you'll see the answers, what number they could be, and what number they are actually forms of. So 22, 22, 34, 34, 87, 87. And well, to be honest, septyni should be pronounced septyni, not septyn. But as we are learning in Informal Lithuanian, and especially when we're using the shortened form, we also shift the stress a little bit. So we say 87. 91, 91, 59, 59, 73, 73, kem 8, kem 8, šem 5, šem 5. Now we'll see the answers. You can pause the video if you like, but I think you guess those numbers since they are easy. So I'll read those once again. 22, 34, 87, 91, 59 or 59, 73, kem 8, šem 5. And I can also read the full forms, which also can be used in Informal Lithuanian. 22, 34, 87, 91, 59, 73, 48, 65. So now, just once again, I'll read the full form. Right after that, I'll read the shortened form once. So let's start from 22. 22, 22, 34, 34, 87, 87, 91, 91, 59, 59, 73, 73, 48, kem 8, 65, šem 5. But keep in mind that it's not obligatory that you shorten those numbers if you're, in the colloquial, in the sphere of colloquial Lithuanian, because not all people shorten, not at all instances. It depends on the context, it depends on the mood of the speaker, and who he is addressing to. So there are many factors here, so you don't have to shorten those. It's not obligatory, nor it is used most of the time, but it could be used when people try to speak fast, or they're just not eager to say everything fully. They may use those shortened forms. Keep in mind that also, instead of saying 40, people say 40. They just miss the o. For example, 60, they say 60. 90, well, 90 is the same, but yeah, with 40 we can say 40. So we miss the o. So you see that in spoken Lithuanian, some sounds get chopped off. They are got rid of. They are taken away in order to pronounce everything easier. So you don't have to shorten 40 to kem. You can just say 40. But basically, you'll still make pronunciation mistakes, and what you say will be pretty good. And you'll naturally get things that are easier to pronounce for you because you're a foreigner, I guess. So this is the thing with those numbers. Now, just one last slide for this short lesson. We have some prices with a number for, let's say, euros, and the number for cents. So we have several euros plus some amount of cents, and let's just for a second introduce you to this. In shops, the shop shop assistants, the the people who will sell products, or the cashiers, will say usually the full price. So they will say 2.30. They will not probably say 2.3, because, well, if you're talking to a customer, you won't use those very shortened forms. So why should you see and hear these forms and learn these forms in this lesson? My answer is because you will be talking not only to cashiers who use the full form, but you will also be talking to your family members, to your friends, and to people who speak Lithuanian in informal context. Basically, when they want to say such a price, several euros, several dollars, or so on, and so on, and some amount of cents, they may use those shortened forms. They're not addressing a customer, they're not addressing their boss or anything, so they are speaking to you as a friend, as a relative, as a family member. They may use those shortened forms. It's pretty frequent. So when we're in such an informal context, we're not addressing someone above us, we can use those shortened forms without any doubt and any regrets. So that's why I put those numbers here, those prices. So at first I'll read the full form, then I'll read the shortened form, and then to the next price, to the next number. So let's go like this. 2.30, 2.3, €7, €7, 4.22, 4.22, 6.37, 6.37, 8.49, 8.9, 10.63, 10.63, 59 centai, 59 centai, 9.99, 9.99. Just let me say one more thing. You see that I didn't write euros, 4.22 because most cashiers don't say those things, because it's obvious, the currency is obvious, of course. But when we have €1, we say €7, we don't say 1.70, we say €70, or $70. When we have only cents, we say cents, because people would understand that they could be euros, but from the context we may know that these are cents, so the cashier could also not say cents, centai. We could understand from the context that it's 59. These are cents, not euros. So it's natural to understand that. But yeah, so these phrases can be said by cashiers in shops when you're at the counter. But those shortened forms, as I've said, can be used by our friends, by our relatives, by other people who speak to people, not to clients, not to their bosses, but to people who are at the same level, and in an informal surrounding, not a very serious surrounding. So again, you see that those shortened forms are only for decimals. As I've talked to you in the previous lesson and in this lesson, we have 20, 30, 40 shortened, 2, 3, kam. So we see that 7, 9 are not shortened. Viens is also not shortened, so we only shorten the decimals. So in this case, in the middle of the number, here, we have the decimal shortened. All those other numbers are not shortened, unless we have 20 and 63 cents, for example. So we can say 2 eurų 63 centai. 2 eurų 63 centai. But it's just I think these numbers are enough for you to get into the mood of preparing for real situations in Lithuania, in Lithuanian environment. You also see that the stress can shift. For example, people may use the full form but stress everything not at the I. So they may say 6:37. This is perhaps more common, but not according to the rules. According to stress rules, we have to stress 6:37. But people may say 7. And this is just how they are used to speak this. So mostly when we use those shortened forms 6:37, we're not saying 7 anyway. We're not following any rules. But when we're saying the full form, we can put the stress 7. But in informal Lithuanian, people may not follow that stress rule and they may say 7. So it depends on the speaker whether he or she stresses everything on I or on E. So okay, my talk was a bit long, but now let's hear those numbers once again. Let's just hear them once again. I'll say the normal number and the shortened number just right after each other. 2:30, 2:3, euras 70, euras 7, 4:22, 4:22, 6:37, 6:37, 8:49, 8:49, 8:49, 10:63, 10:3, 59 centai, 59 centai, 9:99, 9:99. So you see, there is a variety of ways to say one thing. To say this price, we can stress everything either on I or E. I'm sorry. In order to say, for example, 6:37, we can say 6:37 or 6:37 or 6:37 or 6:37. There are many ways, but I hope that from context you will understand everything, and you will master those shortened numbers, because people may say, you know, what am I teaching here? Am I teaching some kind of informal, some slang, some not regular language, not according to the rules? But this is the reality. Those shortened numbers are used, and pretty often, in informal situations, in just informal surroundings. So this is the series Informal Lithuanian, and I have to teach them to you because I don't think any textbook could teach you this. I doubt there is a textbook that could teach this. So I think this is useful. You have to recognize. But as I've said, you just have to get to know these. You should know that these numbers exist. You don't have to revise them, you know, every day. Dvim, trim, kam. No, just learn those normal numbers. But when time comes, when you'll hear those, you'll understand, because the first letters, 30 and trim, the tr still exists. The root still exists, and you will truly recognize them. Plus the numbers all start from different letters. So Davina and Davim, Sheshi and Sham, those are easy to recognize. But I have a feeling that I've rambled too much in this lesson. So now let's revise all those numbers once again. I'll read those again. I'll read these numbers and the latter numbers. I'll read the normal version and then the shortened one, right after each other, once for each number. So now let's do that and let's revise those numbers. So you'll get into the mood. You'll just revise them. You'll hear them. You'll get the pattern. 22, 22, 34, 34, 87, 87, 91, 91, 59, 59, 73, 73, 48 or 48, kem 8, 65 or 65, šem 5. Now those prices. 2,30, 2,3, euras 70, euras 7, 4,22, 4,22, 6,37 or 6,37, 6,37, 8,49, 8,49, 8 kem 9, 10,63, 10 šem 3, 59 centai or 59 centai, 59 centai, 9,99 or 9,99, 9,99. So I think that you got those numbers, you got used to them. I think this lesson will be useful for you. I think the fact that you spared those 20 or so minutes for this lesson will truly be rewarded for you, because you'll have advantage over all other foreign Lithuanian speakers who do not know those numbers. Anyway, for more lessons, for more ebooks, if you watched this video for the first time from this channel, you can go to the website, you can go to the channel homepage, you can also follow this channel on Twitter, so you'll get the newest updates. The second new lessons are published every week. You can also check out ebooks with audio if there are any new ebooks published or not. But for now, thank you for watching, ačiū kad žiūrite, and until next lesson.